Hi everybody, a warm welcome back to our third and our final live show of the day at Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Dave Bradford, and we do this every single month, and it's hard to believe it's been a month since the last official exclusive launch at Carnation, but it has been, and we're bringing you the brand new collection today, which already so many of you have ordered. So if you have, thank you very much appreciated. All the team at Carnation are picking and packing and sending your orders out straight away. Now I've got to let you know, live at just after 1 o'clock, 3/4 of the entire available stock has gone of A Wonderful World. What a wonderful world. Now, what's that all about? You know, Carnation are groundbreakers. They don't sit on their laurels. They don't do the same thing all the time. They're always looking for new, exciting, innovative projects for you as a crafter to get excited about. And that's what they've done with this collection. I've never ever seen anything like it before. It is basically animation. Animation in your cards. Think of this as like a picture frame. Display it like that. Put a little stand at the back, just a card stand or something like that, maybe from one of your other collections. But what you've got is a mechanism, and Carla's going to show you how to make the mechanism that allows you to make three-dimensional scenes and animated scenes. You've got everything to do with transport, everything to do with hobbies, travel, that sort of thing. So if you've been looking for cards for adventurous members of the family, maybe masculine cards for fellas as well, although these are great for ladies too. I mean, you can have a hidden message like a happy birthday or a gender reveal behind these. But basically, it's the mechanism in the middle here, which is called Life in Motion, that allows you, like Fiona Abbott's done with this one, to create movement. The cars, the steam trains, the planes, that's all about trains, planes and automobiles. There you go. Bikes as well. It's a really exciting collection which so many of you have embraced. Now, just to let you know about the vignettes. Vignettes now are available the day after, so they'll be available on the Carnation website tomorrow for you to print off and download and get crafting straight away. And if you place your order right now, the team are ready to literally go and pick what you've ordered, pack it and send it. You might even get it as early as tomorrow. Very often that is the case. Let's have a little look at what you've got in the collection then, because to start off with, this is the system that makes the animation. This is what makes the wonderful Life in Motion blank, and we'll show you how to put that together in a second. Also, you've then got all these other dies as well. You've got the his and hers bikes, you've got the fantastic scene with the trees, you've got the dog and the cat. Is the cat chasing the dog? Is the dog chasing the cat? You've got the bench there as well, and then you've got all of the modes of transport. You've got the sports car, you've got the hot air balloon, the steam train, the motorbike, the plane, and the good old London bus as well. All of that is the main collection, which is 230701. Now, the price is $79.99 if you don't use the discount code. So why wouldn't you use the discount code? It's there for everybody. Uppercase CCWW10, okay? CCWW10, put that in the promo box. That takes the price down to £71.99, and it is available on PayPal Pay in 3 and also ClearPay if you want to actually spread the cost. Don't forget, of course, always with Carnation, if you spend more than £50, you don't pay any P&P, so it's a delivered price. That's $71.99. Now, the other thing I want to show you quickly, it's separate to this collection, but it really kind of lends itself and goes really nicely with the collection, is this. This is the Skyline card shape, okay? Now, you've actually got 5 dies here, 2 clouds at the top, and then you've got a small die for the smaller buildings down here. Next die is the medium-sized buildings there, and then the largest die are the skyscrapers in the background. Now, if I just grab this one for you. Look, using the small ones, Pam Simpson's got the small houses in there, and look, they make fantastic backdrops for your Life in Motion cards. But having said that, when you put them all together, and Carla did a fantastic demonstration in the 11 o'clock show earlier on, giving you the dimension between them. Look at this. This is Vera Bow who's made this one, mixing the two collections together. So you've got that fantastic three-dimensional skyline. I mean, you look at these houses and see different places. I mean, when I saw the middle ones, I thought San Francisco. I looked there and I saw the Gherkin in London maybe, or it could be New York. Down here, this could be your street, your town, wherever you live. But these are the sort of things that you can do. So it's not just about the Life in Motion, although that's a big part of this. You can use them in lots of other ways, and Carla did this card in the last show, which you can look back at. It was on at 11 o'clock today. Watch that back on YouTube. So you don't have to make the animation all the time. You can use them in your...
I've got a big piece of red liner tape on the front of it, Dave.
Oh, it has?
You don't have to add that in. You don't have to add that in.
I thought it added a little bit of extra.
Did you? Did you like it? A little bit of extra visuals.
Yeah. And look at this. That reminds me of Play School.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Up above the streets
Through the
and
square
houses.
window.
Oh, no, that's rainbow.
Fiona Abbott's done that one, so that could be a new home card with the hot air balloon in the sky as well. So there's lots of ways of using this collection, isn't there?
I'm really hot, Dave.
It's been boiling in here today.
As Wheeler would say, I'm sweating like a guinea pig.
Now, with 3/4 gone at 1 o'clock, obviously this is the last live show today. There are 2 more shows planned for tomorrow, 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. But the first show this morning at 9, we went into real depth about how to make the life in motion. Second show was more about decor and how you can use the collection in different ways. And you're going to do another demonstration of how to put it together, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to speed it up as much as I can because the first show was dedicated to it. And if I do that, we won't have time to redecorate the inside of it. So I'm going to speed it up. There will be less explaining. However, you will be able to see how it's constructed. If you want full, detailed sort of run through of it, watch this morning show from 9 o'clock or tomorrow's show at 10 o'clock, and that will be more detailed, but I'm going to run through it faster on this show. Another thing that I just want to say is, ooh, the brain went funny, is if you're watching this show in a year and you try and put the code in, ain't gonna work. It only works while we're live. So on the days that we launch, so today and tomorrow, that's when that code is relevant. It will not be relevant for you in a year. Apologies if you're watching a year from now. What's the last 3 numbers? Right, let's go. Let's have a look at the board and see what we're getting for our money. You have got the Life in Motion card shape, which is extraordinary and gorgeous and wonderful. And there's so many ways of playing with this. It's ridiculous. You can do gorgeous shadow boxes. You can use elements from this just to create a card base. Take away the card base itself, take away this bit, and just focus on these 2 for a second, or this for a second. Take this, cut it twice, put them together on top of each other as such, and use that as a card base. They look incredible as a rectangle around your card as a frame, and then work on the inside of it. Truly beautiful. There's no stopping with this card shape. It's versatile. It should be. It's Carnation. We expect it. But it's also aesthetically gorgeous, pleasing, fun, kinetic, and almost in the stages of automata. Beautiful corner elements with it too. Little florals, little daisies there that come in. And you've got 2 of those to use and to work with. These little tabs that come in to help us with our characters to sit and be lifted. Little pull tab and your layered pieces as well. Now I'm going quite quickly through the boards, but I do just want to show you what that does for those of you who are brand new and have not seen.
Hey.
The vignettes, Claire Marie, will be on the website tomorrow. All of your vignettes will be there. It's just they're not putting them on until then. So that's what this card does. It's incredibly magic. I will show you how to do it. But this afternoon's is going to be a little bit fast and furious. You don't have to have your bus upside down. So you've got your bus, you've got your beautiful car, which has got 3 different colorways to it, which is red, yellow and green. You've got your motorbike, your hot air balloon, the beautiful steam train with the extra carriage, so you can build it and you can have as many carriages as you want in a long line. And you've got the gorgeous, gorgeous aeroplane as well. So there's loads of ways of kind of changing and playing and doing the different things. It's pure life, isn't it? These are cards. There's literally, I can think of anyone who I could use those with.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yep.
I love that. I could work with that in so many ways.
And remember, you can't get this anywhere else at the moment. It's exclusive to Carnation Crafts TV, so you're one of the first people in the world to be able to see it and order it.
Then we've got your beautiful park bench. I actually think that could be used as a bedstead as well. If you were creating something with, say, comfort of home, where you've got the decoration, you could create a different room, which is really nice. You've then got the little cat, beautiful little dog, which for today we will call Neville. And then he's got a frisbee and he's got a ball.
And the cat is chasing the dog. Go cat, that's what I say.
That's Miss Phyllis.
Yeah. Fearless.
Fearless, Miss Fearless. Which is actually true. Then we've got your bushes here, which are beautiful. You've got the ones with the florals. These are really beautiful. Do 2 of these ones together, lay them next to each other and put this one on top with some dimension. So it sits in between and it looks beautiful. Then you've got your long line tree. Again, you will use that so many times in so many different collections. Think how this will work with the little mice. It's so cute, it's so gorgeous, and you'll use it again and again. Finally, we've got your 2 cyclists. If you want a longer line look at the boards, please do tune in to the first show this morning, where we properly, in much more detail, went through the boards. But this is obviously the 3rd time that we've shown them. and I want to get to demo for you as soon as I can. So this is the Wonderful World collection. You have to put that code in to get that discount, but it will not work if you're watching it back in a year's time. Okay. And your special price, the $71.99, can only be found, Mr. Davey B,
with the discount code, which is CCWW10. Okay, CCWW10. Now that's the main collection. If you do want to go for the Skyline as well, that's available as a separate purchase. It's £27.99, and that product code is on the screen there for you. That's 230706. And also, don't forget, in true Carnation style, we have the matching perfect papers, so that when you print off the vignettes tomorrow, these have been pre-printed in colorways that are going to complement that artwork brilliantly. So it's going to make your collection go that much further. 48 sheets of 300 GSM in 6 colour variants, and also don't forget they now do them with slight patterns on them. There's a slight faint line on some of them and slight dots on some of them, as well as the block colours as well. 48 sheets, 300 GSM, that is £14.99. And do remember, of course, if you're in the USA, you can also order with your shipping and handling capped at $14.95 if you buy the perfect papers with your collection as well. If you want to buy all of it in the UK, which a lot of you have done actually, because it's kind of neck and neck, the Skyline and the main collection is basically the same popularity, 3/4 gone. The whole thing is $114.88, and with Clear Pay or PayPal Pay in 3, Clear Pay will be $28.72 over 4 payments, and PayPal Pay in 3 will be $38.29 over the 3 payments. Okay, right. So, what have I done?
Nothing. I'm in big trouble with Miss Taz. If I just deafened you all by blowing, I was really.
What did you do?
I went like that.
Oh,
blew. I was trying to cool myself down, and Miss Taz has got it in her headphones.
Oh, she jumped out of her skin.
Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Right, let's make this card. So we have got all of the elements that we need for it. So you're going to cut the largest die, the big base plate, twice. It's got these 3 little pokies on either side. You need to cut it twice. When it's cut, it will have this piece in the middle of it. You need to take it out for the second piece that we do. It's held together by pips, so you don't need to cut it. You can just push it and it will pull out. And it works beautifully. If you want to get rid of the little pip marks that you see on the side of mine, you can go in with a little scalpel, or you can use that with a pair of scissors and just cut, and it'll come away perfectly. The other one that we're going to need is this one. Again, you're going to take the centre portion out of it. It's got the tabs on it here, and we're going to put red liner tape on some of those, and we're just going to fold them in. Now, it's also got tabs on either end on the 4 pieces here, and I'm going to fold those in to match where my pieces come in. So I'm going to fold them in this way, and that's going to match on that other side. So they've got score marks. You just need to fold it. And we're not cutting them off. They're there for a reason. They help the runner glide. So we're going to sit with that on that. On this one, and just to let you know also, you need 2 archways as well. I have used my mats and layers just to give it a bit more umph.
And you recommend 350 GSM card for this, don't you?
For all cards.
Yeah.
You can run your pokey. In fact, I'm going to run my pokey. Make your life easier. Run your pokey just through these. Just to loosen that cardboard a bit, break that weave slightly. It'll make it easier just to tuck these in. When it comes to it, you're going to cover these workings anyway, so it won't matter. I think I've got actual human sweat on my face.
I think you have.
I think there's actual human glistening going on, Dave. It's not good.
Oh boy.
Right, I'm just going to tuck those in. There you go. It makes it so much easier when you use your pokey just to shove them, and then you can pull them all out by accident. Look at this. She says, I'll do it quicker this time.
And the thing is, once you've done this once, it becomes second nature,
Oh,
a bit like anything.
so
you'll be
easy.
making them in next to no time.
It's not a difficult mechanism. It's just there's a lot of steps to it. So once you've got those out, take off your liner. Right, I'm going to just tell you in advance, my red liner tape and my adhesives are not coping with the heat. It's not quite.
If you've ever had your red liner tape or your foam pads in a car and the car's got really hot, you know sometimes the adhesive can misbehave. That's what we're finding in the studio today, because it's about 35 degrees in here, and the adhesive's not liking it. So.
And the rest. I'm about ready to go to Egypt for a cool down. It is wham. Right. I'm not very good with the heat, Dave.
Oh yeah.
No.
I don't mind it if I'm on a sunbed, but if I'm working, I'm not very good in it. But. If I'm on a sunbed with a nice cool beer, I'm quite
with a
fine
nice
with it.
cocktail.
Yes.
Then it's not so bad, is it,
It's
Dave?
fine.
Right, let's open this up. Now that you've got those tabs through and we have stuck the tabs down with that red liner tape, I can now open it and I'm going to start working with my construction values. I need 2 pieces of plastic. This can come from a carrier bag, a sandwich bag, cut tidy.
Now you don't get these, you've got to get them yourself. Yeah.
Just chop them up. They need to be less than 1 inch. This area here is 1 inch. It's got to be less than that. Now you don't want to make it, you know, 1/2 inch or less. It needs to be somewhere within the remit, about 3/4 of an inch makes it easiest, I've found personally. I'm going to take one end because it's in a big loop, get rid of those bits so that I can open it out into a strip.
Think of this as like a conveyor belt, because that's what it's going to be basically.
Literally, yeah. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it. Just, doesn't matter where, I'm just going to wrap it round. Okay, so I've got it wrapped. Make sure these are pulled down. They're essentially going to help it glide. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to weight it just with something so that I can add some red liner tape. Like I say, it's not behaving. You're going to have to bear with me a little bit. I do apologise.
Now, red liner tape is by far the best. 350 GSM cardstock, red liner tape will be your best friend with this mechanism, and you can make as many of these as you like. And they're just so much fun. They're so much fun to make. They're so much fun to receive, and whoever gets it, or if you're selling your cards, they'll be amazed. How have you made this?
Pam's saying, can we turn up the volume because it's hard to hear me and Dave? I'm going to be totally straight with you, Pam. I don't think it's the volume that's the problem. We've got a fan going. And that might be affecting how you can hear. Let us know if it's too much and we'll turn the fan off.
If I go any higher, I will deafen everybody else. It might be that their volume needs turning up.
Can you turn your computer volume up maybe, Pam?
Are we on the loudest, Mr. Kaz?
Unless loads of people are having that issue, I can't turn you up anymore without it going.
We're up as high as we can go, I think, so apologies. Have a look at your settings on your PC maybe if you're watching us on the PC or on your phone.
Jacqueline's saying, in the packaging, does it give instructions for putting it together? I know you do YouTube, but just thinking that maybe in a year's time, we may not find these instructions, so if you would be nice to be on the Carnation website. They won't be in the packaging, no. It is always YouTube that you come to. You can always, the way to find that, if ever you're struggling, Jacqueline, is if you go onto the Carnation Crafts website and type in, for instance, Wonderful World, or one of the dies, it'll come up, it'll tell you which collection it comes from, and then you can find it by that on YouTube, by the show that we did. That'll always be on YouTube, and we don't take them off, and that's just the way, sort of, I suppose, historically it's been done. So from that, I'm then going to do the same on t'other side. So I'm just going to do this. Now, I found it easier just to use I actually used a guillotine to cut these pieces of plastic. And I just found it easier that way because I just used a full bag and just cut it into strips.
I mean, it could be a freezer bag, a sandwich bag, even a polythene carrier bag or something like that. Don't throw them away, recycle them, use them for this.
So long as it's a sheer enough plastic.
Yeah, shiny
you don't
plastic.
want anything too...
nothing rough.
Nothing rough. We don't like rough,
We don't
Dave.
do rough.
We don't do rough in Carnation. I'm just going to take this, pop this down here, and just make sure I'm not going over the plastic. Now I think the red liner I've got here might be slightly longer, and I don't want that to happen.
Don't want to stick
If it goes to the card, the mechanism's not going to work. So I'm just going to check for sticky. No, that's fine. Pamela Ann Preston says, I'm watching while I work, as this is more important. You're quite right.
Oh, I love it.
Let me just take that, turn that, take this, and I'm pulling it quite taut. I'm not trying to bend the card, but taut enough so it runs.
Okay, so you don't want it too sloppy, but not too tight either.
That's exactly right. So that's going to go there. Oh, sorry guys, that's going to go like that. So now I've got these two runners. I'm going to keep this piece of glue at this side, this piece of glue at this side. Right. And that, because I've got this going down here, as that rotates, it's going to go round much easier. Then I need to take some red liner tape and I'm going to work. It doesn't matter which side you work at first. It's just about getting the construction in place. I'm going to place some red liner here and some red liner here. That's going to stick my legs down, not my actual legs. It'll take more than red liner to stick those bad boys down. I know red liner's
sticky, but that's...
Right, 1, 2. So, a piece hither and a piece thither. And we're always starting on one side. Don't try and confuse yourself by putting more on the other side first. Just work little bit by little bit. It'll make your life so much easier. 1, 2. Right, now I've got those in place. I need my legs. So once you've got your legs and you're sitting and this is in front of you with your sticky, take your 2 fingers and hold one between your fingers, hold this one here and just sort of push back a little bit, allowing yourself first and foremost to line this up to that card base, okay? Now it's really important that we put the legs where the gaps are. So keep one leg raised. Let me make sure I'm still lined up. Push on there. That's going in there like that, and this one then can lay down here like so. And that's got that set. Now it's not stuck at that side, only at the other. Then we're going to turn it over. I've still got my glider here, I can still see it. And so I need my legs to go at the opposite side. My 2 feet are here. I need these 2 feet to be at the other side. And I'm going to do that in exactly the same way I did.
Got it.
Taking red liner, so just taking 2 little pieces.
And don't forget, the 9 o'clock show this morning is taking it a lot slower, real step by step. So if you want to watch that back later on, you can.
And you can slow it right down on the tubes.
Yes.
So 1 there.
With Carla in slow motion.
You can turn the volume off as well. And 1 there. Okay, so that's got both of those now at that side. My feet are at this. I'm working on the opposite side each time. Honestly, once you've made this once, you won't need to watch the instructions again. Suddenly it goes, oh, of course, that's how you make it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, everyone was saying earlier on Facebook that they had that light bulb moment. Oh, that's how you do it. It does make sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Oh.
I just wish I had the sort of brain to come up with these ideas. I just think they're so clever.
It's not just the idea, though, is it? It's then the implementing that as a die.
Making it work, yeah.
And making it work. Oh, just bear with. Sorry. I can literally hear my glue in the voice of the Wicked Witch. I'm melting. Right, so let me just make sure I've got that in the place that I need it to be. So if I turn that over, I'm going to find it easier to work. Holding my feet in place, I'm going to line that up to that point. I'm going to let go of my first leg, make sure it's lined up. Let go of my second, line it up. And now I've got essentially a Z fold.
Right,
okay.
Gotcha. Yep.
So 1 on one side, 1 on the other at opposite sides. That's all you got to remember, just opposing sides. It's really that simple. Now the complicated bit, which isn't complicated, it's fiddly. We've got to get these in these.
In there.
1. I tell you, I started to learn when I was doing demos. Stick them down as you put them in. So I've got 1. Here. Now what I'm going to do is fold it back on itself so that I can pin it so it doesn't keep slipping through. Doesn't guarantee it, but it can help. Same again with the next one. That one went on its own, so we're just going to thank...
Do you put red liner tape on them before you put them through?
I do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want to fiddle any more than I have to. If I can put red liner on first and not fight with it, I'm going to do exactly that. Some of you like to use wet glue. Absolutely do you. Red liner to me is stronger. And that's it. Once we've got this last one in, this is the only one.
This is the only little fiddly bit. The rest of it...
There you go, in.
There you go.
All done. So now we're going to release the red liner tape, stick it down, get it all into place. Now you'll obviously be taking a lot more time when you're at home and you'll be able to get it much neater. That's not an excuse for my ineptitude. It is literally a case of if I don't work this fast, you're not going to see any more demos today, and I would like you to see this decorated.
And you decorate the panels after you've put this together, rather than before? Yeah.
The only ones I wouldn't do after is the archways.
Right.
But that's entirely your choice. I would do the archways first, just the mats and layers. Don't you go through there. Don't you do that bad piece. Wait, let me just get those down so I know they're stuck. It's like herding cats. It's like having 3 children. 2 children actually was hard enough for me. Just let me unstick that now. This is the only problem with red liner. It's so aggressive, isn't it? Once red liner has made its mind up, that's where it is. So I'll just pull this through.
And remember,
and
the
stick.
collection isn't available anywhere else for a little while. So it's brand new, exclusive. We do this every single month. We had lots of people mentioning earlier on today that they hadn't seen the channel before. They'd not watched any of these launch shows before. So usually it's the first Monday. Is it the first Monday of every month or second Monday of every month? Second. Second Monday normally
I
of every
love
month.
that you were asking me when Miss Tiz Taz is sat next to you. She's the font of all knowledge.
But that's basically when we have our launches exclusive to Carnation Crafts TV. So make sure you look out for Facebook posts and stuff like that telling you all about it, and emails that go out over the weekend before. But it's usually the second Monday of the month.
I usually do a Facebook Live for you as a preview. Right, I'm putting red liner tape on these now that my tabs are very haphazardly stuck down. Let's hope and pray to the gods that that stays down. I'm going to put this here and this on hither, like so. I'm having to really smush that red liner to try and get it to a stick. I know how you feel, red liner. I know how you feel. And then I'm going to take this off. Right. Now, this is obviously going to be the base of this, okay? So what I've got to do, and I'm hiding my workings with that, I'm going to lay it, line it up, okay, so it's right, and then I'm going to stick.
Very neat.
Just there, same on t'other. This time I'm just going to hold it in place, raise, and just allow that adhesion to sit. Now obviously if you're working in wet glue, you're going to need to work kind of pretty quick, pretty steady, but you can go a little bit slower than with red liner. Red liner is committed. Once it's committed, you just saw it stick to where it shouldn't have stuck. When that happens, there's not a lot of going back at that point. I'm hoping this card shape works, otherwise we're not going to be making this card. I'm just saying.
Look at this. That's the way to do it.
It's not difficult.
It's like a magic trick. It's so clever.
Even in the heat, it just does its thing.
And just like a magic trick, when you find out how it's done, you kind of go, oh yeah, I get it now.
Yvonne Hodge, I have some 380 GSM. Would that work? Yvonne, yeah, absolutely. What I'll say to you, Yvonne, is this, and I'll try and be as open as I can be about it. Because those 3 tabs, the last 3 that you do, and the last one that you do is fiddly, and it is fiddly, I'm not going to lie to you. If you're using a really heavyweight construction, it's going to do one of 2 things for you. It's either going to be impossible to push through because it's too thick.
Right.
Or it's going to be the best thing you ever did because it's going to slot straight through because it's heavy and it's domineering the other piece, so it'll just shove straight through. That's going to be the output on it. I would say, if it was me personally, I would rather attempt to do it with a 380 GSM than I would with a 240 GSM. However, that being said, 240 might be easier to manipulate. Have a go is the answer.
Now, I know a lot of you were saying, you know, what's the idea behind this? Do you mount it onto a card blank? Well, yes, you can do that if you want to. But what Fiona's done, and they always tell us who's done the cards, which is really handy, they've got a little, just a makeshift stand. I think one of the previous collections actually came with a stand die, didn't it? So you could use that and just treat it like a picture frame, really, because that's what it looks like when it's actually been made. And then you can decorate it. The fun bit is the decorating after you've put it all together. But isn't that just amazing? It's brilliant. I love it. And of course the dies to decorate the panels, those beautiful lattice decorated panels there, they're included with the collection as well. They are all individually available, but the big collection is of course where you get the discount. And someone said to me, or actually it was Carla said to me, this morning, you know, what would you expect this to be? I would have thought in the region of £100 at least for this collection, but it's under 75. It's £71.99 with the discount code for all of this. And I think it's, from what you've said to us on Facebook and social media today, I think it's really tackling issues that a lot of you have had, like cards for your teenage sons and grandsons, and also, you know, people who love to travel. It's not all flowers and countryside. You've got a lot going on there that people are passionate about: cycling, motorcycling, cars, trains, hot air balloons, planes, travel, buses, all that sort of thing. So it's something that a lot of you have been asking for. I know someone did ask about horse races or horses going forward. We'll maybe suggest that to Nick and see if we can come up with something like that going forward. But now the fun bit, decorating it, huh?
Yeah, let's get decorating it. Can I just say, Savvy Craft, I ordered last night. 2 hours later, they cancelled my order, so I ordered again. Second price was higher. Savvy Crafter, can you get in touch with Carnation for me, please? If you just send them an email at customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk. That's customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk. Explain what's happened, give them your order numbers, and Carnation will sort it all out. They'll do the magic things that Carnation do so well. Let's get some decoration done. I'm not going to promise you this is going to be the best thing ever. Can I show you something that none of you are interested in, but just completely and utterly... My glue, you can't see it properly, it's just one big long string. That's how hot it is. The glue is just one long...
Gloopy.
That is not how you demonstrate on television. Right, let's get to some stuff. So what we've got here is the little pull tab. Now you get a little die that says pull. Use Cut Tidy with these things. Use Cut Tidy with your filigree as well. It will help you get everything weeded out. Then we've got this here. So you've got a line of blankness at the bottom. So we use the archway to put the little word in, and then we've got this. You can cut that obviously in your coloured papers. I quite like it white on white. I think there's something very appealing about it, and I kind of stuck with that because I loved it, but it's up to you what you want to do. So I'm going to put some wet glue here. Now you can use red liner, entirely up to you. It looks to me like whatever glue I use at this point, I'm just going to fight with it, so I'm not worried. So I'm going to place this onto here.
It's good that they've included the pull as well, because it tells anyone that's being given it that it does something. You know?
I totally thought you said pool then, and I think I've got to the point, you know, in the desert where they imagine water.
Yes.
I think
they hallucinate.
I think I'm hallucinating about water. Isn't there a specific word for it though that's not hallucinate when you picture water when you're in a desert?
A
mirage.
Yes, of course.
Right, now I've got this here. So I'm going to just whack some wet glue on. Now, don't put this much on. Like I say, everything is a big gloopy mess here at the minute. What I will say to you is when you're doing this, this is really important. I'm putting this long line tree down. What's the most important thing to me at this stage? I need glue right at this edge, and I need glue right at this edge. Why is that important? I don't want it to catch.
Right.
We're securing everything all the time. So I'm going to open this right up, and I'm going to place the tree in, and I've got the little piece that we would normally cut out to guide me. I'm going to put mine a little bit higher so it's floating nicely. You know I love things floating in mid-air. I'm going to put that there. And we need a grounding device. We need something that makes that visually make sense. Otherwise it's weird.
Yeah.
So I've got my little houses because they're cute as a button.
They are cute.
So I'm just going to take these in.
And you can separate those and just make them individual houses if you want, like one card that we showed you earlier on.
Now, I'm using more glue than I normally do. You might have noticed I'm sticking everything down. I want no catching. Oh!
And of course the vignettes can be single-sided or double-sided. You choose whether you want to print them double or single, and they'll be on the website tomorrow for you to enjoy.
Pin those down.
Yeah.
Look at that, it's so cute. Now that has nothing to do with the actual construction of the card shape.
That's your background.
That's just my background. So that's the piece at the very back. So we're working in layers, very strongly in layers. And then we're going to start working on these pieces. Now when you look into the construction of the card, you might not be able to see this, but one of my pieces, this one, is on top. This one is on bottom, okay? So that means whatever I put on this piece is going to be at the front of the card, and this is going to be the layer below it.
Right.
So we're working step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then step 4. That's step 1. This is going to be step 3 because it's on top. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Where do you want your layers? What do you want to see? Because if you put in the bust down, you don't really want the bust to be on maybe layer 2. If you've got nothing sort of big to put behind, it's going to look weird. So you're just going to work out all of your different pieces. The biggest image is the
bus, so you probably want that in the background, don't you? Or not?
So I've got my train, I've got a car, I've got bits, and I've got bats. Now, these little pieces here, and there are an extra, there's like a mat and a layer for these, so you can get extra support for them as well. When I'm using something like the train, in order so that it doesn't catch on the mechanism, I've used that, can you see, to hold the steam, to hold the train, and to hold this. These get really clever though. These little tabs can be used. If I hadn't put those where I'd put them, and I'd put them lower down so I had more, I can actually get things higher. Because I can use those things. Now that means if I'm using something lower on this one, as it passes, you'll still get to see the other as the higher up. Okay, so you can start to think of it in terms of you've got one high and you've got one low, and they will cross each other.
And of course, because you've got the mirrored vignettes, you can have a car pointing left, or you can have a car pointing right, or a train pointing left or right. So you can have things chasing each other on the scenes if you want to.
I mean, you won't want to be chased by a steam train. I think the heat's getting to my head, Dave. I think the heat's getting to my head. Right, I'm just going to pin that thither. And I'm going to make sure I keep the train relatively far back. And I'm going to use it because I'm going to pin it to the edge here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And obviously when you're at home, make sure that's straight. Okay, so that's then pinned. I'm just going to make sure my little tabs are pinned as well, because what I don't want to happen is anything gets stuck.
Isn't it funny though that steam trains, above all, are kind of loved by even young kids, even more so than electric trains? It's the steam trains that they all love, isn't it?
Look at it going past the houses,
Maybe
so
it's the
excited
smoke.
with itself.
Maybe that's what it is.
Well, there's something very, I think, nostalgic about it, isn't it? Because of the war, because of various other things. Just that kind of romance, isn't there, of a steam train is a lot with films and stuff where it utilises that as a
But
kind
with all
of...
the high tech these days, you think kids wouldn't be interested in steam and that, but they
Yeah,
are.
but then Harry Potter came out, didn't
Oh,
it? And you had
true. Yeah, I did
Hogwarts
think of that.
Express
Yeah.
and,
Of course.
you know, those visuals. Can I just pop this here? I'm using those tabs. I'm putting the car wheels over. Can you see?
Nice. Yeah.
So that's my grounding. I've got the tabs sitting behind. So when I turn this over, you can see the construction and how that's created in that way. Okay. Now, what you've got to understand when you're doing this is, I've got free edges on my car. I've got free edges on my train. I've got my two archway feet. So you've got to make sure that the two don't catch. All right.
Yep.
And you can do that just by manipulating. Look at that, so clever.
Perfect.
Manipulating and manoeuvring and all the rest of it. Just beyond clever. I think I put my back on front. I did.
You did your what?
The words have all gone. Ooh, they did all the. It all got jumbled, and then the words didn't come out, and there was no coming back from that. That happened. Let's make some other stuff before I get myself into a bigger trouble. Right. So let's go in. I've got my little crossover points. And I can start to build how I want things to look.
Now these flowers, they're not in this collection, are they?
No, they're from the Full of Love collection, but Carnation have given us a brand new colourway to play with. So I've got choices with my composition here. I'm not going to go too far into it. We did a lot on composition in the last show, but I'm just going to show you some elements going through. If I was to put those here, and I think they're very, very beautiful there, I'd be more inclined to allow them to just overhang slightly to give it that kind of romance and that very pretty piece. But as we know, I can't leave my workings because it drives me mad. And so what I'm going to do is just pick this up, push it. I'm not doing these. I want that movement. It's pretty to me to have movement. I know not everybody's the same. I'm not suggesting it's the only way, but for me, that's how I like it. Lift this one. Push.
So again, think about all the other fantastic dies that you've got and artwork you've got from previous Carnation collections. You can decorate these, the Life in Motion box with anything like that you choose to.
And then I'm just going to play with these. I'm just rocking them to get some shape so that I can get that beautiful dome in, but without using the ball tool, because I don't really need the ball tool for this. It's kind of over egging the pudding. I did break my syringe before we came on air, so whether this works or not is a question. There we go. There's a little bit. I'm going to cover that working. I don't want it sitting there. Okay, so just corner that out and frame it. Okay, so you get that beautiful, you see how it makes a difference?
Yeah, massive.
I don't like the raw edge. It's just not pretty to me. That doesn't mean it isn't to everybody else.
Well,
but
I
to
always
me,
think of
it's a
hanging
no.
baskets when I see fuchsias like that. They're the ultimate hanging basket flower, aren't
Did
they?
you used to pop them when you were little?
No. What, just
They
smooth them?
they pop. They go,
Do they?
yeah.
Don't you kill them?
I mean, I don't think so. I think they're just open. Maybe. Well,
okay.
they make me feel like I feel like I'm a flower serial killer now.
The ballerina flowers, they call them, don't they?
Well, now I've killed ballerina flowers.
Beautiful.
Look at the prettiness,
Yeah,
right?
lovely.
We shape up, we shape out. Now, one thing I don't like about this is that midpoint in that section. And I'm going to do something that might not make sense in the sense of the world, but it makes sense visually for this piece. And I'm going to take this cloud and I'm going to center out because I don't like the middle of that. So this has got such a muted color and it's almost white. So all it's going to do is give me just a joining point between those two elements, okay? It's just going to give me a fluffy cloud and it's adding to the visual of the houses below, but it takes away the rawness that was between those two flowers. Annie Foxall's also a ballerina flower serial killer as well. I'm not on my own, thanks Annie. She loves popping fuchsias too. They pop, they make a popping sound.
Oh, I'll remember that. I'll give that a go next time.
No, then you'll become a serial killer as well, and that's not good. Right, so now what I'm going to do, I've got these. See how you've got the different ones? I love them so much. They're so pretty. Now you can take the third one, and I think I probably started off with a third one. What's happened to it is anybody's guess, but I'll steal one from over here. There's things we can do with these. Oh! I'm not going to use this in this way, but first of all, if you lay those flat, and you put this one, and you raise it,
Oh, does it come in different colourways then?
yeah, you've got one that's got flowers and one that's naked.
Okay.
Isn't that so cute?
And
That's so pretty to me.
An option on the vignettes that you'll see tomorrow.
So we can do that, and then we could have the little dog and he's getting all excited and he's running in, and you could have the tennis ball on the other side, which I think is sweet. Or I could take these two and I can add in some florals for some dimension. Now, to me, I get a little bit busy at that point. I don't know specifically that I need to have that much detailing in the bottom of it. I've got my thing here is visually, I'm crying out for a little bit of white space. So I'm going to stick with what we started, and I'm going to do this.
And don't forget, of course, you've got those detail dies that have got that lovely lattice pattern, which you can decorate the box with as well, if you don't want to necessarily put flowers on it.
Absolutely. You're right. Yeah, totally. You can do so much with this. Use your filigree by absolute all means. So place this and place. Look at the pretty. Isn't that so cute?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to take this. Now, if I had 5mm foam tape up here, I would be very excited, but I don't. So I'm going to rock it just as we are, and I'm going to pin flare. And I'm going to do it as high up as the edges. Can you see where I've done that rocking motion, and I've put that as high as those edges so that I can base out at this point, just placing and keeping that dimension exactly where I want it.
Makes
so you've
all
got
the
that
difference.
beautiful raise that's coming through. And of course, here he is, all excited, and I'm just going to rock him a little bit too. Really cute. So I'm just going to place this just on here. What have we got here? Just bear with. You could use the beach scene from the other collection in the middle and have the bikes riding by the trees and have the beach beautiful.
Yep, that will work.
Wouldn't it be easier to stick down the small tabs at the plastic mechanism to go around to keep it flat, or am I talking rubbish?
Well, put the tabs on the actual plastic.
Because the tabs get flattened back on themselves, because what that happens is when they get flattened down, so they would normally be open and we push them in. So what happens is the plastic rides on that, and it rides on a mechanism going round. And so it needs those two tabs raised to allow it to rotate. And that's what allows that rotation to happen. If you didn't have that, it would judder, because it wouldn't have the smooth transition, because the kinetic mechanism works in such a way that that lift causes that plastic to round. So that's what we need for that to work. So I don't know if that's what you mean.
The tabs of those onto the plastic.
Oh, I don't know. You wouldn't need those. It works exactly as it does, just with that round. Right. You wouldn't need them on the plastic. I think what you'd end up doing, possibly if you put them on the plastic, And you can try it at home and see if it works for you that way. But I think what will end up happening is it will jut against stuff as you're trying to turn it. The cardboard on
Right,
there
yep.
will trap itself because the mechanism's meant to just be a belt that goes round in a loop. So I hope that helps. I hope I've got right what you mean, but that's what I would say, because you need that loop system to create that conveyor belt that allows the two to go in separate directions for the kinetic movement to work.
Right.
But we've got, or we did have, I've just put a load of pin flare on it. Always the best demonstrator. So we've got this here, and obviously as it flows in, there's your train and there's your car coming in to create that very beautiful scene.
Let me just show
Just playing.
you a couple
Isn't
of
it
other
cute?
cards as well.
Yeah.
Sue Dalrymple. I've just seen this one. I haven't seen this until now. I just love that. The frisbee in the air and the dog jumping after the frisbee. That is just amazing. So this is more of a conventional everyday card. None of the kinetic movement on there or anything like that. And then this one made me smile. This reminded me, years ago I used to have a dog called Safi, little Cocker Spaniel. I used to take her for a park walk, and she chased after someone on a bike once and nipped his ankles. And do you know who it was?
Go on.
Jason Donovan. I said, oh, sorry, mate. No worries.
My dog once pinned, if you're from Yorkshire, this will make more sense to you. When I was a kid, you used to have the coal man that used to bring coal. This is a Yorkshire thing, isn't it? I can see from your face this is not something that happened to you. Man used to come round on a lorry with coal and he'd put it in the coal shed every week. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Taz is looking completely mystified. And the coal man was tormenting our dog through the door, and the dog escaped, and the dog pinned the coal man to a gate in our garden for 8 hours until my dad came home from work. That's a true story.
Wow.
8 hours pinned. It was very, very exciting, Mr. Dave.
Well, it's been a fantastic day. We're almost at the end of our show for now. If you want the wonderful world, remember this is the third and final show of the day today. Back tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. 230701 is your item number, $71.99, but don't forget the discount code that gets you that price is CCWW10, CCWW10. If you want the Skyline, that's $27.99, 230706. And if you want the Perfect Papers, that is $14.99, and that's 230707. But enjoy the Life in Motion. It's a fantastic concept. It's a brilliant collection. Well over 3/4 of the stock has gone. So join us tomorrow for 2 more shows at 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Lots more demos tomorrow, and some different types of demos too. So we're just trying to break the shows up as best as we can to give you the best that you can get. I hope
Thanks
that
to
helps.
Taz as well. We're going to go and sit in the fridge for an hour. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon.